From around the Beltway to around the world, this is the Daily Drum on 96.3 WHUR. Plus, now every Wednesday on WHUT TV, bringing you the information you need that matters most. Better together. Here's Harold Fisher.
Good evening. This is the Daily Drum for Wednesday, November 22nd. Here's what's happening. A U.S. Park police officer is in critical condition tonight after getting into a shootout with a suspect in Northwest D.C. Police say the officer confronted a man at 12th and Massachusetts Avenue around 2:30 this afternoon. U.S. Park Police Sergeant Thomas Twiname says the officer was trying to make a drug arrest.
Suspect fled the area on foot, running north on 12th Street. In the area of 12th and M Street, the suspect and the officer exchanged gunfire. The officer was shot and the suspect was shot. On scene, officers rendered aid to both the officer and the suspect. The officer was then transported to the hospital where he's receiving treatment for his injuries. The suspect was also transported to the hospital and was later pronounced deceased. D.C.
police will take over the investigation. Park police say there is police body cam video. New York Governor Kathy Hochul says there is no evidence of a terror attack at the U.S.-Canada border after a car exploded at the Rainbow Bridge. 2 men inside the car were killed. Surveillance video shows the car speeding, hitting something, going airborne, and then bursting into flames at an intersection, at an inspection booth on the bridge in Niagara Falls, New York. The other 3 bridges connecting the U.S. and Canada border at Niagara Falls have reopened. Well, travel continues to be busy and sometimes slow as drivers head out of the DMV for the Thanksgiving holiday. AAA Mid-Atlantic says today will be the busiest on the roads in more than 20 years, with more than 1.25 million cars traveling. Maryland State Police say the state's handgun qualification law is still in effect. The U.S. 4th District Circuit Court of Appeals ruled yesterday that the law requiring Marylanders to get a license before buying a handgun is unconstitutional. Police say the opinion does not become effective until the court issues a mandate. And the Washington Commanders have a chance to redeem themselves on Thanksgiving Day after losing to the New York Giants on Sunday. They'll take on the Dallas Cowboys in Texas at 4:30. Here's a look at the weather now. Clear skies tonight and cool. Lows in the mid-30s to near 40s. Thanksgiving Day, partly sunny and breezy. Highs in the mid-50s. Well, coming up, family, food, and fun. How to prepare for holiday gatherings. Lines are open. Give us a call. 202-319-7810. 202-319-7810. Insight is next on WHUR and WHUT TV.
On the go and on demand, WHUR and WHUT are with you. Download the WHUR app today to get full access to shows, playlists, and our latest contests. To access WHUT on demand, download the PBS app and make Howard University Television your station. Catch up on our WHUT original productions anytime, anyplace on YouTube at WHUT TV. WHUR and WHUT, better together.
D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, you might have noticed something a little different on Monday nights at 8 p.m. I'm Angie Ange, our Director of Content here at WHUT. And Monday nights at 8 p.m., we like to call it Must See DMV. All your favorite shows from all your favorite creators focus solely on what makes D.C., Maryland, and Virginia so special. So set your clock, and we'll catch you at 8 p.m. right here on WHUT, Howard University Television, telling your stories on your station.
Going beyond the headlines to the deeper issues. 96.3 WHUR and HUR Voices, Sirius XM Channel 141. This is the Inside segment where your questions and comments matter at 202-319-7810. Join the conversation.
Welcome back to the Daily Drum on WHUR, Sirius XM, Channel 141, WHUT TV, 96.3 HD2 and 98.3 FM. This is the Insight segment. I'm Harold Fisher. Are you ready for the perfect Thanksgiving celebration? Turkey with all the trimmings, dressing, cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes, candied yams, sweet potato pie, greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, all of that stuff. And, of course, reconnecting with family. But watch out, there could be speed bumps and potholes on the way to the Thanksgiving table. How do you make sure it all goes according to plan? Well, joining me to help you make sure all goes smoothly are Tanisha Watson, Chief Excitement Officer at Plan to a T, Chef Arthur Green, and Bashae Williams, licensed psychotherapist and author. Lines are open right now. Give us a call at 202-319-7810, 202-319-7810. You certainly can X me at HFisherWHUR or find me on Instagram at Harold T. Fisher. Thank you all for coming in. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Lots to talk about. We're going to get to the food in just a minute, and we're going to talk about preparations. But first, Bashae, we have got to make sure that we have peace of mind.
Right.
Because your cousins, the ones that look like you and me, that uncle that you've never liked, that aunt who's just a little too loud, all kinds of drama going on. What do you think should not be allowed for discussion at the Thanksgiving table?
Whatever you're not comfortable talking about. So I think we have to have conversations prior to getting to the table, and I think setting boundaries with the people who tend to cross our boundaries, tend to harm us, right? We get reminded of our childhood traumas and different things that maybe a parent thought that was a good experience, but the child didn't. So as we get older, we find our voices and we can talk about, hey, when we get to dinner, let's not talk about this. Don't bring this up. Don't talk about who I'm with. Don't talk about where's my other child. Don't talk about all the different things that disrupt what I'm expecting to have an experience of fun, love, just connection, reconnection with family members that I want to connect with.
But sometimes that's really hard because these are the folks that you may only see once a year, and there are things that may be, problematic. You may want to ask the big question of your mother that you have been wanting to ask. Is this my real daddy?
If you're prepared to have that conversation in front of everyone, then you've already done a lot of work. You've been sitting on that question for a long time. So thinking about having that in front of everybody, when dad is there, when sister is there, brother, sibling, cousin, uncle, everybody, and you open up that can of worms, are you really prepared to have that conversation at the dinner table?
Yeah, maybe not, because the mashed potatoes could go flying. Yeah. So, okay, but what about those family members who just don't get along? And wait a minute. I just saw out of the corner of my eye Tanisha. Do you have a story that you need to share about family members who don't get along?
No, not necessarily, but I stay in my lane.
She said cautiously.
I stay in my lane. Don't those flowers look pretty? Let's just keep everything looking nice, decorated, and all the beautiful things for the Thanksgiving dinner. So I think staying in that space for me, playing the games, starting the games, keeping everything fun, because I'm the Chief Excitement Officer. So, hey, y'all, I just want an upbeat time, and let's just enjoy family, but I also want it to look good.
Yeah, is that a good idea, just to kind of keep things upbeat?
We always have somebody in the family that does that, right? Somebody that tries to mitigate or, get in the middle of the conflict, right, and say, hey, let's just calm down. There's always somebody in the family who does that, and that's a tall task to take on. The responsibility of keeping everybody calm. I don't know if I have the bandwidth to do that, and I don't know if I need to have that responsibility, even as I'm coming in as a therapist, right? I'm not going to be the therapist in my family, right? I know how to set boundaries where I don't get involved with conflict on a day, again, when I want to enjoy food. So if I'm bringing I got charged with bringing the games and the music. Okay. So I might turn the music up a little bit when I hear somebody talking too loud or something like that. That might be an answer.
Yeah, and I think you make a wonderful point in that you came to enjoy family, friends, and the gathering, but you didn't come to work.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want to drill down a little bit more on some of these things too. But speaking of work, because probably, and we're going to get to the preparing of the event, but let's be really, really honest. Chef Green, if
Yes,
you
yes.
there are some things right now that if you've not prepared them, you really need to get on it. I'm assuming that if the turkey is still frozen, that well, we get Tanisha, but she's having the ball. So okay, so here we are. It is a little after 7 o'clock, and you've got a 20-pound turkey that is due to be on the table at 5 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. What should you do right now with that frozen turkey?
Either get it under cold running water as fast as possible, but me personally, I'll probably throw that thing in the oven.
Really? What do a
Yeah,
frozen
go
turkey
ahead.
in the oven?
Yeah, it's slow, low and slow. It's about 45 minutes a pound when it's frozen, something like that, like 35 minutes. And so that 35 minutes that it takes to cook that pound of turkey, if you do the math, 20-pound turkey, you should have that thing out in about 7 or 8 hours.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to start off slow. Don't go to busted like it's gonna go straight in 350. No, you want to put it in about 220. Like basically like you're smoking it on a grill.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's on the power start that turkey.
Wow. I've never heard that before. But then again, I've never had to worry about a turkey that's frozen solid like a rock, less than 24 hours ahead of time. So give me kind of the rundown. Let us say that it is already thawed out. What are the ABCs of where preparation should be right now for turkey and some of the other critical sides, whether it's mac and cheese, whether it's sweet potatoes and the like? Because I think the reality is that a lot of people really struggle with is that you don't want whoever's cooking in your family to be so tired that they end up needing to spend time with Bashae later on this week because they're tired and mad. Oh, Lord. It sounds like he's had that experience. So what are the ABCs right now of what we should be doing right now as far as the food?
Well, as far as food, what I would say is I would want to make sure that if it comes down to mac and cheese and you're doing a cheese sauce or your noodles, I would personally have that already prepped. I would want to go in and making a fresh product in the morning because I know that that's only going to take an hour. So I would probably tonight, right now, 7 o'clock, I would get up, make a cheese sauce, cook my noodles off, get them cooled and chopped, put them back in the refrigerator so that I could use them tomorrow. Yes, I would really do that because it's going to speed up that process. Everybody want to wait to that, I got 2 hours. I know we're going to do this at 4, and it's only going to take me 3 hours to do this. Well, you forgot you got 10 things to do. So you just put dinner back to 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, absolutely, and been there. I've gone to a relative's house. Dinner was supposed to be there at 4. I'm supposed to be ready at 4. I think we ate around 9:30. I was not happy. I said, "Is there a Popeyes around here somewhere?"
Oh yeah.
Now, what about sweet potatoes?
Okay, so sweet potatoes. So everybody gets a little scared about cutting that sweet potato because they will turn on you.
Yeah.
Well, what information I can tell you is go ahead, peel those potatoes, slice them down, sit them in a bucket of water. They'll make it till tomorrow. You don't have to fry those sweet potatoes tonight because you just took a day off your leftovers. If you cook them tonight, you only got 2 days of good food.
Interesting. Again, the prep before. Because again, most people are so. I know some folks are doing some stuff today. I talked to my sister earlier today, and my mother was there, and I said, "What are you all doing?" And she said, "Mom is snapping peas." Okay, or string beans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess the major thing is prep. But is there something that needs to other than the turkey certainly, that needs to definitely be done the day of, and would not be better off being done the day before?
something that's best done the day of and not the day before,
Yes.
I would say stuffing, because I've seen families eat stuffing for 5 days after Thanksgiving. We know that fifth day questionable.
Oh, my goodness. 202-319-7810. 202-319-7810. This is our Thanksgiving Eve program, and we are talking about food, family, and fun, how to make sure that Thanksgiving goes off without a hitch. We are going to get back to some of the food things too, but I need to bring Tanisha in here, because already Tanisha obviously has family problems. She has problems with the food. So Tanisha, we're just gonna pray over your family right now. So, how do you plan a Thanksgiving event? I mean, I know some families like to glam it up. I don't know those people. Okay. It's for us it was y'all come on, Chinette. There was no fresh sage and strawberries and tomatoes around the turkey.
Right.
It was we just put the bird on the plate, because nobody, it's pretty, but it better taste good.
Right.
So, but for planning a Thanksgiving event for a family, let us say that there's 20 people coming into to the Tanisha Watson estate. What do you do? What do you say?
Well, first, we're going to start with us women. We're worried about, we're setting, you making the house, make sure the house is all together. Is the house, clean? What are we going to do? All those things have to happen. And that is part of the planning, because if you're working, you're, a mom and all the families coming, you still have to think about all those things. Those are still details that matter. I mean, it's not just the food, but it's the preparation. But we find that today, some people are doing different things. Some people are renting out Airbnbs and they're having their Thanksgiving dinners there. Yeah, so you can, it's not all about just having it at your house, but picking like maybe one of those types of venues to have your Thanksgiving dinner, just to do something maybe a little different, but still and yet planning is key, because we have to make sure that, and who's going to stay over, who's coming in advance, who's staying over, who's, not going to spend the night. So all those things matter. And then, of course, one of my faves is the decor, florals. All of that has to be thought about, because you need to think about what florals and your decor and what are you going to use. That has to be, if you're going to get your flowers, how soon in advance would you get your florals? Would they, last? So all of that has to come into play. So if you're going to do the spread and the pretty, I'm part of an industry that we love the pretty. So
Right.
We're definitely going to have, we will set a table, maybe not to fit everybody, depending on how your flow is going to go. And then definitely football and the games. Is the TV going? Can we hear the TV while we're, everything is going on? Are the guys good? The man cave, is that all going on? You want to set them up in their own way. They're not worried about florals. I'll give them some anyway, but they're not going to be worried about it. But making sure that you do all that, and the hospitality piece, because for me, I believe in hospitality. When people are coming over, serving, and serving them well. Being a very hospitable host, which doesn't have to be all those things, but the heart of it, and then having people in your home, the heart of the home, or the place where you're going to be, making that home and bringing that warmth into that spot. And I think that when you start with the planning, it helps to release some of that. We're checklist people, of course, and our timelines. So it does help us to manage, and that's what will help with that mental piece that Bashae was talking about. And that's what helps us stay all together with the timelines. Yeah, there may be a little something going on. Somebody's going to be late, which we already know who they are. So you don't even let that stress you, because you know who that is. So you just make sure that you're definitely in that heart to be hospitable and to serve and to host.
Do you do a kids table?
Yes.
What's the cutoff for the kids' table? Because and is there like a range? Because if they're too small, and then you have the 13-year-old, you don't want the 13-year-old at the kids' table, do you? What is it? 12? Is it 11?
I think after maybe 9 or 10, they
9 or
kind of don't
10.
want to be at but you know, the youth, you know how they do. Your son, they're going to go downstairs to the basement and do what they do. They're getting away from all of us. They're not trying to do the hangout when they're in that sort of, but in between the little ones and the adults. So, but I do think having a kid space shows them that they're important, and it shows them that because I remember we always had a kid's table when I was little, so it was a big deal to us. We thought we were doing something with our little table. My mama put us right there, and we were like, ooh. So we felt like that was our space. So I think it's important when you're hosting, again, the kids table makes them feel like they have their space, and that's still part of being hospitable and still part of bringing in all the thanks into Thanksgiving, and not forgetting that part, the thanks in Thanksgiving. Don't forget that we are coming together to be grateful. We're here. We're just grateful. And so I think if we stay in that mindset of gratefulness, whether it's the planner, whether it's, in that space, whether it's the cook, the chef, if we stay in that space of we're coming together to give thanks, I think it'll help us all and just remain in a place of peace and gathering.
Yeah, because we don't want any food fights. That we definitely do not. We do not want that. Family, food, and fun. How to prepare for holiday gatherings. 202-319-7810. 202-319-7810. Let's talk to Mr. Carter, calling from Baltimore. Mr. Carter, thanks for calling. What's on your mind? Mr. Carter, are you there? He's probably eating already. Let's go to Tony, calling from Waldorf. Tony, thanks for calling. What's on your mind?
Hi, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Go right ahead.
So we were calling, I have my grandbaby with me right now, and we were calling just to talk about the Thanksgiving holiday. My family's doing something a little different tonight. We decided to have a sleepover, so we're going to have a sleepover and cook and play some games and just have some fun and enjoy each other. So we're doing something a little different. And before I left home to be on my way to my sister's house, I did all of my cooking from my house tomorrow.
So where is this going to be? At your house or your sister's house?
So the sleepover is going to be at my sister's house. So we're going to have dinner there tomorrow earlier during the day. And then I cook dinner from my house, and we're going to be watching the game and kind of just relaxing and chilling out during the later part of the day. But tonight is family time. We're about to have some fun.
Okay. Well, Tony, thank you so much. I appreciate it. No drama at Tony's house, I would imagine.
No drama, but my grandbaby wanted to say something really quick. Go ahead, say something. Say hi. Hi.
Hi. All right, grandbaby. Happy Thanksgiving to the both of you. 202-319-7810. 202-319-7810. Chef Green, you did say something that struck me when you were talking about the stuffing and how sometimes folks are eating that stuffing when it is well past its prime. What's the lifespan of stuffing or dressing or whichever one you want to call it, whether it's bread or cornbread stuffing, after Thanksgiving Day?
You got 2 to 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So you get Thanksgiving the day after, one more day, you pushing it with the second. When you go into 4 and 5 days, you're looking at a possible foodborne illness.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, definitely no one wants any of that. I need to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation about food, family, and fun on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, how to make sure that it is successful. Stay with us. The Daily Drum will continue on Sirius XM Channel 141. I'm Harold Fisher. John Mons is next with the original Quiet Storm. That's on WHUR. We continue this conversation on Sirius XM Channel 141 and WHUT TV. We'll be back in a bit.
On the go and on demand, WHUR and WHUT are with you. Download the WHUR app today to get full access to shows, playlists, and our latest contests. To access WHUT on demand, download the PBS app and make Howard University Television your station. Catch up on our WHUT original productions anytime, anyplace on YouTube at WHUT TV. WHUR and WHUT, better together.
DC, Maryland, and Virginia, you might have noticed something a little different on Monday nights at 8 p.m. I'm Angie Ange, our Director of Content here at WHUT. And Monday nights at 8 p.m., we like to call it Must See DMV. All your favorite shows from all your favorite creators, focused solely on what makes DC, Maryland, and Virginia so special. So set your clock, and we'll catch you at 8 p.m. right here on WHUT, Howard University Television, telling your stories on your station.
Welcome back to the Daily Drum on Sirius XM Channel 141 and WHUT TV. I'm Harold Fisher. We are talking about Thanksgiving, family food, fun, how to make sure that the Thanksgiving celebration is a positive one. My guests are Tanisha Watson, Chief Excitement Officer at Plan to a T, Chef Arthur Green, and Bashae Williams, licensed psychotherapist and author. Lines are open at 202-319-7810, 202-319-7810. You can X me at HFisher, WHUR, or find me on Instagram at Harold T. Fisher. Let me go back to the phone lines. Barbara calling from D.C. Thanks for calling, Barbara. What's on your mind?
I have one comment.
Go
People
ahead.
talking about working all day Thanksgiving Day cooking because they want the food to be fresh.
Right?
There's only one thing that I want fresh. That's macaroni and cheese. All that you're cooking today, working yourself to death, think about where that food is going to be going tomorrow. You're going to be eating leftover food. So why can't you cook it the day before, everybody eat, and they're going to eat it the day after, 2 days after, 3 days after? What's the problem?
But hold on, Barbara.
I'm here.
Yes, I see. But why do you want the mac and cheese?
Because I like it like that. Like turkey, you know you can fry turkey in less than 2 hours if you want the skin to be crispy. But why are you going to do that if you can cook it the day before? The object is cook everything the day before. I just like my macaroni and cheese fresh.
Okay.
That's a demand.
Barbara, you sound like you've seen a few Thanksgiving, so you probably know what you're talking about.
I am 76 years old.
How about that? God bless you.
A house, my mama cooked, my sisters cooked, everybody cooked.
Okay.
Amen.
But I have one sister who wants everything cooked on that day. And by the time we get in her house, she's so tired she can't even lift up a fork.
And I think that's the issue. Yeah. That's Chef Green, that's what we were talking about earlier, about making sure that this is a day to give thanks, to be comfortable, to enjoy family. And if the person who is doing most of the cooking is worn out, then they really don't have an opportunity to celebrate. And Barbara, you all just need to sit your sister down at the kids' table and you handle it.
Food that she cooked, we're not going to tell her anything.
Oh my, Barbara, thank you so much. Which brings me to something else. Thank you, Barbara, for bringing that up. All right, Bashae. What do you not say about the food at Thanksgiving? How do you? Because your cousin Rayford. every year, brings that nasty potato salad.
Oh, he gonna go there.
And because the potatoes and some of them are not done, some of them are overdone, and who knows what kind of he may he may be using heavy cream instead of mayonnaise. So, and we know this, and we love Rayford, we love him, but how? When his stuff is sitting over here to the side, and he says, Bashae, you didn't get any potatoes. So how do you handle that?
It's something in the potato salad that I'm allergic to.
Is that what it is?
But no, I think seriously. I mean, you can simply say that I just don't want that. That's not what I want at this particular time. But there's that, of course, the secret that's going around. Other family members were talking about Rayford's potato salad. Are you going to touch it? Can you put it on a plate and you just don't eat it, right? Because he doesn't see when you throw it away.
Right? But because he's watching you.
You can't watch everybody. Too many people. You can't watch everybody. Maybe you leave some other stuff on the plate too. You kind of move it around a little bit so it seems like you put it up to the other side of the plate. So you split it up so it seemed like you touched it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What about that, Arthur? Chef Green, I know that you have. Man. That you've probably been to a Thanksgiving celebration or two where there is something that not only does it not sit well with you, it doesn't sit well with anyone. How do you handle that?
So look, it's family. And sometimes I just come to the realization you just have to be honest. If Nicole can't make the potato salad in the last 12 years she made it was messed up, Nicole don't need to make the potato salad. Let her make yams or something. Because there ain't no way that the potato salad should be coming looking like mashed potatoes.
And you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Right. No, you sit down as a family and say, well, you know what, this year Mama gonna make the potato salad.
Okay. I thought he was about to say you sit down with the family and have an intervention over the potato salad.
Well, who is Rayford closest with? Right? You. Okay. So if the task is left up to me, I can take me and Rayford can go to the game or something like that and talk about, hey man, we got to do something about your potato salad. Let's figure out how we can spice it up a little bit. What is your process of cooking the potato salad? Maybe be more inquisitive than accusatory of it tastes bad, right?
Okay. I like that. Sound good to you?
Yeah, well, no, we just going to make a list.
He's going to make a list.
And he won't be on the list to make the potato salad.
202-319-7810. 202-319-7810. Mr. Carter, calling back from Baltimore. Have you finished eating already? We tried to get you on earlier.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. What's on your mind?
I heard Mr. Green said that he couldn't wait that the turkey to be thawed out completely, and he would throw it in the oven and slow cook it as possible. But I never heard of such a thing coming from a chef. And to me, that would destroy the whole Thanksgiving. The whole Thanksgiving is about the turkey, yes, turkey and family. But I think that the turkey will come out being tasting like whack. Because I never had a turkey that was thrown in the oven and thawed out quicker, because it's not thawed out completely when it's out of the refrifigerator,
Well, let's see what he has to say. I mean, if Chef Green, give us some detail as to the process. You got a rock hard turkey, and you said you put it in slow, 230 degrees or something.
That takes to me, and I can confer with other people, that takes away the taste. If you throw it in the oven just because it's not thawed out completely. And like I said, I never heard of a chef.
Okay, well, let's see what he has to say. Chef Green, help Mr. Carter out.
Okay. And what was the question again?
He was saying if it's frozen solid, as I said at the top of the program, and here we are, it's just after 7:00, and it needs to be thawed out. And I remember you said you're gonna put it in the oven at a low temperature to thaw it out. And Mr. Carter is challenging you, saying that he thinks that it would not be a good thing. What do you say about that whole process?
Well, they teach you in culinary school that you have a couple of options when it comes to thawing and cooking food. You can cook a food from frozen to well done without having any form of a foodborne illness. But you sitting that turkey overnight in the sink for 2 days to thaw out is some dangerous stuff. But running it underwater is minimum risk also, but you have to put it directly in the oven once it is thawed. The best way to thaw your turkey, if you have a turkey and it came in frozen, was in your refrigerator 6 days ago.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Wow.
And then you want to do it in the packaging because you running water on your turkey without that plastic packaging puts it at more risk of a foodborne illness.
Interesting.
But that makes sense. You know, for 6 days, I don't think a turkey. Hello?
Yeah, we're listening.
Oh, 6 days. I don't think it depends on the poundage, right?
Well, I gave the example of a 20-pound turkey.
20 pounds.
Yeah, 20-pound turkey. I think it would take at least 3 days, not even 3 days. You know, anything over 20 pounds, it might take 3 days or 4 days. I don't think 6, but hey, I'm not a chef neither. From my experience, you know, I turned 62 years old last week, and I had plenty of Thanksgiving with Mom. You know, God bless her soul, but I don't think, you know, from a non-chef point of view, it'll take 6 days. That depends on the pound.
So now we're into conflict.
Now,
dry. What kind of turkey did you grow up with? Yes.
yeah, well, Mr. Carter, I hope that your turkey that you're going to eat tomorrow is thawed. And we appreciate your phone call, and happy Thanksgiving to you. 202-319-7810, 202-319-7810. Vancia, oh, that's a musical name. Vancia, thanks for calling. What's on your mind? Vancia, are you there? Give us a call back if you can. Okay, so I do want to go back to this, you know, to this hospitality piece, because I've seen some really, you know, fantastic Thanksgiving spreads, but let's take it down to the brass tacks. How do you do a okay, it's ready, y'all come kind of thing, instead of, you know, the long formal table that seats 20 in the White House Red Room kind of thing? You know, paper plates, you know, is that okay? Chinette, can we do that?
We can. And when you have a lot of people.
Wait a minute. You look like you were about to. Did you see?
We
She was
can.
about to. I guess you can.
That's what your budget says.
I mean, you know, I'm getting the fan, people. I'm just saying. I mean, okay. So when it's a lot of people and you're at your house and you're a little more, because the people that are coming over for Thanksgiving, it is a little more relaxed because it's your family and your friends and it's people you know, so you're not, and there are, I do know people that set up the whole situation looking good with the chargers and, you know, the formal place setting, but I think that even in that space, I still find more value with us just coming together, and the buffet style still have to have some decor, though. I'm sorry, I have to have something.
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely.
Yes, we must.
with the hand. Yes.
You already know.
That's right. So, but how do you do that and still make it, you know, really, really nice? And I think, and I'm not sure if this is a question for, you know, Chef Green, but the other thing, you know, short of having, you know, the whole buffet thing with what are they called?
Chafers.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. what you said. You know, because everybody's going to be kind of gathered around, standing around. There's got to be, I don't know, like just kind of a foundational level of decor where you don't. Because I can imagine somebody saying in a really relaxed kind of situation, Tanisha, you're doing too much. Can you do too much in that situation?
Yep, ask Rick. I do too much.
Rick, exactly.
And my plan of friends, we do too much, and we'll be doing too much tomorrow. But we'll do too much. I think. Okay, so there's a place for everything, right?
Okay.
So we will set up, because you definitely, again, hospitality, people know where to go and what to do and where to get what they need. So we need to have our plates and our silverware and our napkins all in one place. We need to have the beverages where everybody knows where to get the beverages and what have you. Even the special beverages, we need to know where those are so we know where to get them. So I think that part of the hospitality piece and part of setting it up is really having everything laid out in its place. And even to the chef's point, also, once everybody's been served and we've eaten, we need to make sure that we're covering food and putting things away and not just leaving it out. So, but I'm gonna let the chef talk about that because, he knows and he can let us know. But those pieces are important too when it comes to hosting and being hospitable, because it's not just about, okay, everything looks cute and the food is just laying out. You're still working. So I think that even in that, a more of a team effort with multiple people doing certain things. So we're all sort of, if it's a big situation like, I think tomorrow we're at that big situation where it'll be multiple people, but we all step in and do something when we're there. We walk through the door, hey, what can I do and how can I help? And then there's some people, oh, go ahead, you just sit down. And, that's what you want them to do. And that's that nice way of saying, Cousin Ray, you go ahead and just take a seat.
Rayford.
Right, Rayford, yes.
Rayford, Ray is fine. Ray is fine. He doesn't cook. But Rayford, that bad potato salad. All jokes aside, when and Tanisha just mentioned something, and I think this is really, really important, Bashae. Inevitably, there may be adult beverages. And what do you think is the family responsibility for making sure that people just don't drink too much? Because, as the police are going to be out there, but this isn't even about being arrested. This is about getting home safely.
Right. So you mentioned it, the legal ramifications of somebody leaving your home that's intoxicated in an accident or something bad happens, right? You have to deal with that because part of your responsibility lies on you as well because they drank at your house, right? But you do want your family to be safe. So how do you have the conversation with them where we're creating a 2-3 drink minimum, right? And that's how we're going to operate today. We don't want anyone, we want to have some clean fun. We're not going to limit someone who can't drink at all, right? So we're going to say we have maybe a 2 to 3 drink minimum or maximum.
You mean maximum?
Yeah, maximum. Sorry about that. Maximum.
Maximum. And I got to drink
3. Yeah. So maximum.
That sounds like Club Bashae.
Because the other thing is too is like how does the conversation morph once you have more than 3 drinks? Like we're watching football, we get real comfortable and nobody's really paying attention to how much they're drinking. Then all of a sudden we get into altercations. You're not clear-headed in the conversation, and now the whole event is disrupted because one person's intoxicated.
Yeah. That and we've all, I think, in one shape or sense or another, have seen that. Not seen it recently in my family, but I do remember, way in the Wayback Machine. Having seen that, and it really ruins. Yeah. It really ruins the day, and it only just gives you something to talk about next Thanksgiving, right, which you really don't want to. Let me go back to the phone lines, 202-319-7810, 202-319-7810. I see Vancia called back. Vancia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, how are you? What's on your mind?
I just wanted to ask the Chef Green about the stuffing does it depend on what you put in the stuffing that you have to disregard it after the second day? Because I know if you put onions or the gizzards and stuff that's inside of the turkey, then that'll make it sour. But if you just use green peppers, onions, the cornbread and stuff, can't you eat it at least the third day?
Well, like I said, that third day is just questionable. It's that fourth and fifth day that worries me about our culture. Like, it completely worries me. If I see you got a turkey sandwich in your hand 5 days after Thanksgiving, I'm a little scared for you. I'm asking, is that fresh sliced turkey or was that the one from Thanksgiving?
Okay, I wouldn't eat it past the fifth day. I just was thinking about the second day when you said throw it away, but you said the third day.
that
Okay.
No,
that third day is good. You made it on Thanksgiving. That second day really counts as that let's try and mash it off kind of day. Let's get rid of this. That third day, if it's still around, you got to knock it off. Because that fourth day, don't play with it. You got eggs in it. Some of y'all put oysters in it. Some of it got bacon grease. Them peppers, them onions, you sweated those. They was gone 2 days ago.
Vancia, you said something that struck me. You said that if you put onions in your dressing, it makes it sour?
Well, yes. I mean, just like he was saying, if you put certain things like the gizzards and all those things in it, onions has a tendency after a period of time, it makes everything sour. So,
72
it's
hours.
not any good.
Okay,
so,
after 72 hours. Oh, I thought you meant just in general. I was going to say I've never had, sour stuffing or, anything. Okay.
Maybe I'm not using the correct term.
No. I think we just got our timeline wrong. That's I would imagine after 72 hours, a whole lot of sour things going on. I mean, even the folks coming in from out of town after 72 hours, they're sour too. It's time for them to go back. So
have a good evening and thank you guys.
You're
Bye-bye.
quite welcome. Happy Thanksgiving. 202-319-7810. 202-319-7810. Robert calling from Cheverly. Robert, thanks for calling. What's on your mind?
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I'm old school and I am proud of it. When I was little, we went to Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner at my aunt's grandmother. Even as kids, we dressed up. Yeah, don't dress up. Even if that was on time.
Robert, I'm sorry. Speak up a little bit. You said even as kids.
Even as kids, we was dressed up going to Thanksgiving dinner at my aunt's and grandmother's house. But one thing that really gets me, when I'm going to friends and family for Thanksgiving or Christmas, and I'm served dinner on a paper plate, plastic cup, and grandma dishes, they're up in the counter cabinet, and you're saying, I don't know what to do with them. You eat off of them.
It's Robert, you're breaking up. I'm going to let you go. If you want to call back, you can. But apparently, we're not getting a clear signal or reception from you. Give me a call back if you can. One thing he did say was about paper plates. Perish the thought. And
I want to say, as a chef, and I know his dishes, his pans to be cleaned afterwards, but who really wants to wash all of that old china? Who really wants to do that?
Tanisha.
It's 2023. And if you don't get you a fancy plate printed like it was china and leave me alone, man, paper plate is what it is. Didn't I cook? I gave you a delicious meal. Put it on a paper plate. Put it in your hand. I'm not washing no plate.
So, but you think about, again, roles in the family, right? If one cooks, the other one washes.
Yes.
So we don't expect the person who cooked all day to wash all the dishes. So you might have the sister, the aunt, the uncle, the cousin, whoever comes in and say, I'll be responsible for helping with the cleanup. So it becomes a family event, a family cleaning event at the end of the dinner as well.
I never, excuse me, I never thought about that because, for example, when I go to my sister's on tomorrow, for example, I'm going to take I'm going to take this, cheddar and smoked Gouda mac and cheese, but it's not going to be, settle down, Tanisha. It's not going to be, it's going to be in a foil.
Right.
It's going to be in a foil pan so that we can dispose of it because it's going to be gone because it's so good. But I guess I don't mind. And I think, Robert is back. Let me see if we can get Robert back. Robert, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, that's so much better. We were just talking about you, and what's going on at your Thanksgiving. But Chef Green says washing the dishes is just not something that he's interested in doing. But certainly he's probably cooking. I'm going to cook a little bit tomorrow. I probably will not be washing dishes tomorrow. I'm just going to go and put my feet up. And but you were saying you were old school. You come from a place of dressing up and making Thanksgiving a more formal event. Is that correct?
Yes, Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner at my relative's house.
Mm-hmm.
And really, when it came to washing dishes, yes, as your guest said, that the person who cooked all day did not do any of the cleanup. We had the aunts in the kitchen. We had the kids putting out the garbage and all that stuff. It was a family affair. We grew closer doing that. I'll eat on paper plates at a cookout in your backyard, but for Thanksgiving and Christmas, I really don't want. I don't want paper plates, plastic tableware, and food in a foil pan, especially when you can go to that houseware store that's right there in College Park and get a pan or a dish for $7. Holidays to me are special, very special.
Mm-hmm.
You can be formal and still have, I'm talking, from someone who had formal holidays, and I have had the greatest memories in my life. But to make it a throwaway, that's what gets me. And again, I'm old school, and I am proud of it. And if I take a dish, it's in something that it's not in foil, it's not in paper. I take knives. I don't take plastic. But that's just me.
I think Robert just gave me a little shade, but that's all right.
I heard that. I
heard it. But Robert, I'm going to my sister's tomorrow, but I can come to your family's house the day after for the leftovers, and And look, and I will wear my velvet tuxedo just for all of y'all. Robert, thank you so much for sharing with us, and happy Thanksgiving to you. And I will say, when there was a time, this was again years ago, when and my father and stepmother, they had theirs catered, and it was at a hotel, and it was at a huge suite, and it was really, really done. And I can put my family's business out now because this was probably let us say one of the most interesting Thanksgiving events that we had ever had, and you probably would appreciate this. But we were in this huge suite, and there were probably, and this is no exaggeration, there were probably about 30 of us. And we were in this huge room, huge table. We had it catered, and it was beautiful. And this is one of my favorite memories, favorite but not best, where, before we ate, everyone, and this goes back to, just really making this a family event, where everyone had a chance to talk about their blessings.
Yes.
And about an hour later, they were still
boundaries, time limits.
Yes. I needed a floor director.
Yeah.
Because there were a couple of members of clergy there. There were a couple of mini sermons, and by the time we had a chance to eat, turkey was cold. And I said, I'm not doing this again. But and I can laugh at it now, but about 30 minutes in, in addition to everyone talking about their blessings and everything else, one of the things that you did hear a lot of was, So, Arthur, I want to come back to you because this is the piece that everybody needs to talk about as well. Can you freeze, for example, we've been harping on the stuffing and the turkey. How long can you freeze the stuffing and turkey after Thanksgiving? How long will it be okay?
I figure somewhere around 3 weeks to about 3 months. I done watched my mother do it a couple times. It's been a little questionable, but sometimes it came back.
Well, I mean, how long can it be frozen before it's questionable?
So, I think if you got it in a good silk container or a really great what they call it, a Ziploc bag.
Yes.
You can get a good 2 months out of it. I get 2 months. Don't let it. If it looks frostbitten, chuck it.
Okay.
If it's got discoloration, if the bag was slightly broken in the corner, just go ahead and let it go.
Well, Arthur, I appreciate your sense of humor and your expertise, and let us hope that no one has to start thawing a turkey tonight. But I certainly appreciate your time. I will let both of my guests have just kind of a final word. Tanisha, real quick, some final thoughts.
I just want to say thanks. We've come so long, this far, and I have a lot of memories, much like you do. My granny's gone. I'm from Texas, and just those moments of everybody was there for her food, and I think even though we did. When I say dress up, you made sure that you were more than just presentable, and that is how we did it. But I think people were more out to eat her food than they really were worried about what it was served on. So because everybody came over for Granny's dressing, we say dressing, and all the things. So, and I know about like all the debates out there about how you do your mac and cheese. Are you making the roux and all the things? And we're doing all that. But when it really all boils down, it boils down to us being together, being grateful, and being thankful. So whether we're on paper plates or on china,
or anything in between.
We definitely want to be grateful.
Okay, Bashae, a final thought from you.
Yeah, I think it's an opportunity to create new memories, right? And we have to honor each other's boundaries, honor each other's expectations, be empathetic for each other, and know that you don't have to put yourself in harm's way if you don't want to. Yeah. Right? It's about family, but also family can get boundaries as well.
I like that. Tanisha Watson, Chef Arthur Green, Bashae Williams, thank you all for coming in and sharing with us about Thanksgiving. I hope you all have a very happy and peaceful Thanksgiving.
You too. Thank you.
Well, finally tonight, sure thing. Finally tonight, a few words about Thanksgiving. Now, yesterday, we had our annual What Are You Thankful For show. And I'm reminded that I have so much to be thankful for and that I'm really grateful for it. But to those who are struggling, to those who are mourning, and to those who are lonely, my heart really goes out to you on this Thanksgiving Eve. And also, there is time to connect with someone before tomorrow so that you can find the support you need and deserve. Remember, someone does love you and would love to see you on Thanksgiving Day. That's the Daily Drum for this Wednesday, November 22nd. I'm Harold Fisher. Good night and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
This program was produced by WHUT and made possible by contributions from viewers like you. For more information on this program or any other program, please visit our website at WHUT.org. Thank you.